Unsurprisingly, this is going to contain spoilers for Judas and the Black Messiah if you have not seen this movie, which I highly doubt since you clicked on a video about this movie. Heck, there's a good chance that you haven't seen this movie and yet still know 100% what happens because you know the case so well. But again, if you have not seen it, I would recommend watching it for yourself. And then follow it up with doing research into the main figures of this movie. That was your spoiler warning. Let's get into it. What's the plot? The film revolves around the Illinois branch of the Black Panther Party during the late 60s, focusing on the relationship between two people. The chairman of the group, Fred Hampton, played by Daniel Kaluuya, and an FBI informant by the name of William O'Neill, played by Lakeith Stanfield. O'Neill is tasked by an FBI informant by the name of Roy Mitchell, played by Jesse Plemons, to get close to Hampton and take down the Panthers from within. We see the events that involve Hampton and O'Neill, Hampton's relationship with Akuya Njeri, played by Dominique Fishback, the creation of the Rainbow Coalition, Hampton being jailed for $71 worth of ice cream, etc., etc. All of it building up to December 4th, 1969. If you have no clue what happens on that day, I really don't know why you're watching this video. This movie is part of a recent trend in film that I've seen be called the white guilt films. I'm not entirely sure if that's an accurate description of it, but it's basically films like Harriet, Selma, 12 Years a Slave, etc. Films that are made to show the historical struggle African Americans face due to the US's systemic racism, which leads to white people who see them to feel guilty for their actions. Due to the issues and the people that are discussed in these films, they were originally sort of brushed off to the wayside, but as the 90s become the 2000s, become the 2010s, become the 2020s, they've slowly entered the mainstream discourse, with the rise of certain movements like BLM. On paper, this film might have actually been pushed to the wayside. You would expect a film about Martin Luther King Jr. or Harriet Tubman to be part of mainstream film attention, because these two are essentially now American icons, people whose stories have been turned into children's books. You can easily make that into a mainstream movie. And then there's Fred Hampton, a person who you can't really do that with. And yet there was a lot of buzz about this movie, and they don't really sugarcoat it either. One last deflection before we get back on topic. These films usually have some sort of weird ire associated with them, because they're stated to be incredibly preachy and, for lack of a better term, black and white in regards to their issues. But to be honest, that's just a huge deflection about what is actually being said in these movies. An example to get us back on topic would be Martin Sheen's portrayal of J. Edgar Hoover. He's portrayed as some sort of mustache-twirling bad guy, yes, I'm going to do everything I can to destroy Fred Hampton's life. Your average moviegoer might go, oh, come on, this is just completely unrealistic. But then you do your research and you realize, oh, no way, that's just accurate. This is the same guy who bankrolled the Communist Party of America just so he could have a political enemy. He's 100% the mustache-twirling bad guy that he is in this movie. He did literally send FBI informants to infiltrate peaceful groups like this and then end up causing a lot of harm. Speaking of informants, this is where I'm going to have to address the only potential inaccuracy of this movie. While the majority of this film is pretty accurate to history, taking very few liberties, I think I'm going to have to address at least one of the liberties that they take, simply because there has been a lot of doubt raised on this particular topic. There's one scene a little bit after the halfway point or around that time, which is supposed to be the turning point in regards to how we view this FBI informant stuff, where we see how serious things are getting with this. During a meeting with other Black Panthers, O'Neill is introduced to a guy by the name of George Sams, who's the leader of his own faction of the BPP. While O'Neill is in the room, Sams is talking with other Black Panthers about the fact that he found an informant by the name of Alex Rackley, and then tortured him to death by pouring boiling water all over him. This nearly scares O'Neill out of being an informant altogether, and he proceeds to give this information to Mitchell. Mitchell's super excited. He's like, we've got them now! And then when he goes to the FBI to report this, the FBI reveals to him that in actuality, Sams was an FBI informant and was told to torture Alex Rackley to death by the FBI, and that when they go to raid the Black Panthers after hearing this supposed information, they're going to let Sams go and then let him continue going back to the Panthers, so they have a perpetual excuse to go arrest them because they're harboring a criminal. The story's accuracy has been questioned. While yes, it is true that Sams did torture a Black Panther by the name of Alex Rackley because he accused him of being an informant, and yes, it is true that Sams was accused by other Black Panthers of being an informant himself, there was no formal investigation into him, and this has more been an accusation that has been levied without any evidence. I'm not saying Sams wasn't an informant, I'm just saying it hasn't been proven. But all in all, the film is great nonetheless. It was made during a very contentious time about similarly contentious political figures, with the goal of trying to start a dialogue in regards to certain political issues and their histories. It's pretty well informed and entertaining, really dramatic, helps bring more radical politics into the center stage, and if the film was released during a better time period, then maybe we would have had it be a box office classic. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when a future video of mine comes out. And if you're interested in more content from me, you can go to my website, follow me on Twitter, join my Discord, check out my articles on the Independent Political Report, or consider supporting me on Patreon.